Tryptophans?
Tryptophan.
That.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna shut the door.
Oh, and that's a good idea. I told you it was there!
Sorry. Okay.
It's very comforting. It's very comforting.
See, I can't get in.
I know, I apologize for putting it in the worst possible spot. But, however, if you look at it in the camera, it is very, very moody. Moody because this is our final episode before Halloween starts. Not final episode, period. You can't get rid of us that easily. Not yet, at least. But yes, hello,
Hi.
Eugene.
Anne-Marie.
With Half Awake, Fully Caffeinated. The show where we are half awake and getting caffeinated. But today, things are a little different.
With a twist.
With a twist. We are actually not half awake. We're as awake as you can get. And we're decaffeinating by drinking herbal teas because it is currently 4:30. And
5:03 p.m.
5:03 p.m. And the reason why we're doing this is because I'm going to be gone for a really long time, and it's going to make it really hard for us to stay on top of our episodes. So,
and then I'm gonna be gone for not as long of a time.
And then they're going to be gone for not as long of a time, and we're gonna do our best.
We're trying to stay caught up.
We're gonna stay caught up, and we're gonna make sure that everyone here keeps on getting all of the episodes they deserve. Which reminds me, dear Lord Jesus Christ.
Superstar, who are you? What are you?
Oh, we're okay actually.
Did you forget to hit record?
No, I hit record, but I forgot, or I was concerned about how much time we actually had left on our recording device. But we have plenty of time. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. We have two questions that are coffee related. We have two questions that are non-coffee related, as is tradition in Half Awake Fully Caffeinated.
Yes.
And before we get started, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know, that thing that you do on social media if you like something that people are doing. And hopefully you do like what we're doing.
Please.
And if not, how did you get here?
Why are you here?
It's a real good question.
You can go.
You can leave. But let's get started. It is the end, like I said, it's right before Halloween. And so we're going to do Halloween-y things. And my non-coffee question was the most supernatural occurrence.
That's right, because you did have a Halloween-y question for me, and then you changed it last minute.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't remember what
my Halloween question from you was supernatural
Supernatural.
occurrences, and the most recent ones are probably the most likely supernatural thing. And then my coffee question was, what does coffee do to ADHD individuals?
That's right. I'm excited
Yeah.
for that.
Are you?
I need to know the answers for that personally, for no reason at all.
You're gonna hate it.
I believe that. I believe it already. My questions are: you wanted to know a little bit more of the history of Blackface.
What was our actual Halloween related question?
I don't know. You had it ready to go, and then at the last second, you were halfway through saying it, and then the last second, you switched it to Blackface, which I'm not against talking about. It's very important and
It's very important
It's a
to
very
never forget or forgive.
good topic to discuss. It's just we were going for spooky, and then you threw this at me. It's okay.
It's an election year.
Nothing else matters. My coffee question is: how much coffee do you need to drink before you absolutely keel over and fucking die?
It's a legitimate question. I need to know sometimes. But hey, let's go ahead and get started. I forgot to grab the bell. But let's go with you first. I don't know. I feel like I've been going first a lot lately.
Okay. What do you want to learn about?
You know what? Let's just do the coffee stuff, and then we can, check the box when or we can check the Halloween-y box at the end. Cap it off. Yes, that thing.
Cap it off at the end. Okay.
Yes.
Am I starting a timer?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so the LD50, which is the lethal dose for 50% of the population.
Okay, all right, lethal dose for 50.
Which is
Well, you have to like.
To kill it. Well, I mean, it's a shit. It's a shit.
Was that yours?
No.
Oh.
Is 10 grams. So a lethal dose of caffeine is 10 grams. And in a cup of coffee, there's approximately 95, like 90 to 100 grams of caffeine. So,
Got it.
So technically speaking, the short answer is like 100 cups of coffee, like a lot.
95 milligrams is 1,000. It's a 1.1 grams. Is 100 milligrams? Is that right?
You're making me question myself now, but yes. Because I thought 10 cups of coffee will get you to 1 gram.
How many milligrams are in a gram?
Because 10 cups of coffee.
It's 1,000. Okay, yes, you're right. 1/10 of. So that is 1/10 of a gram in a single
Yes.
cup of coffee. Okay.
Yes. So that's. Are you sure it's not 5 a.m.?
We'll talk about this later, but there's a reason why at the end of the day you're kind of useless. Anyways.
Me?
Us.
Oh, people in general.
People.
Okay. So that is the short, simple answer is you need a lot. However, I saw this. I watched this thing that went through all of the different kind of like energy drinks and coffees and stuff that you need to go through it. And when you start getting caffeine poisoning, that kicks in way sooner than the lethal dose amount. So you're. Sorry, do we need to?
No, I'm here. I'm 100% here.
So, you start feeling sick once you hit 1 gram of coffee. 10 is what kills you. 1 gram is when your body starts being like, oh,
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. So like 10 cups of coffee is where your body starts freaking out a bit. But technically speaking, you could still have 80, 90 more and then die.
It was a good eye twitch there.
Thank you.
I don't even know if that was like acting or if that was legitimate eye twitch.
Who knows at this point anymore.
Yes.
But some other fun facts that I learned is that, so Bang energy drinks did you know they have 300 milligrams of caffeine?
I didn't know that.
That's fucking insane.
It's an insane amount of caffeine.
You would need to drink 30 cans of Bang to die.
It's a lot closer than the 100 cups.
It's a lot closer. 30 is actually doable.
No.
That's a number that you could reach in a day.
Technically, yes, 100%. You could reach 30 cups or 30 cans of Bang, and $10 says you would probably only need to pee 4 times if you drink fast enough. I dare anybody.
I dare you. Please don't drink 30 cans of Bang.
Yeah.
Monster, you would need 60 cans of Monster because it has 180 milligrams.
Good for them.
Yeah. And Red Bull has the least amount, it has 80 milligrams of caffeine. So
actually,
you would need like 120. You would need more Red Bull than coffee to kill you.
Yeah. Technically, Red Bull is actually a very good energy drink in the fact that it's not just caffeine. Like, there's a lot of other things in there, and that's why it kind of tastes like gasoline.
I kind of like the gasoline taste of it. Does that make me weird?
I like Red Bull too.
I like Red Bull too.
And it's not just because I was at the headquarters last week. It's because I like Red Bull.
Is this you trying to get a sponsorship?
No, they would never sponsor us. We're not dope enough.
We're not dope enough.
Or extreme. Dope or literally there's nothing adrenaline pumping about who we are other than the coffee.
Yeah, like we're I forgot that I set a timer. But that's the short and long answer is that you would need 80 to 100 cups of coffee to fucking die.
Fucking die.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. You already did it, but I wanted to do it again. Let's talk about ADHD and coffee. So I think if you would like to start the timer so I don't just babble away. I think more importantly, before we start with what the effects of coffee has on people with ADHD is what is the reason that people have ADHD. Which like the normal, like the majority of the reason why people have ADHD is that they have a really bad, they aren't good at moderating dopamine in their system or norepinephrine. And these are hormones that are associated with pleasure, excitement, fulfillment. Like it just makes you feel like you've checked the box and like you're happy and you're good. And with ADHD individuals, the fact that they're unable to regulate their dopamine means that when they're doing a task, say like homework or roasting coffee or brewing coffee or anything like that, the attention span for that individual is much shorter because they don't have the steady managed supply of dopamine and norepinephrine to keep them excited about what they're doing. And to be completely honest, I get that. Like, if you're not excited about something and you're not getting fulfillment from it, then why do you keep doing it? So most of the times, if someone with ADHD is to drink coffee, because of coffee's effect on adenosine receptors, it actually helps manage and regulate the hormones better. So this is for a subset of ADHD.
A subset?
A subset, because I'm going to get to this point later.
Ooh.
But for a subset of ADHD, it actually helps calm people down. It helps them focus. It helps them manage their hormones better, such as dopamine and norepinephrine. And so in general, it makes certain individuals with ADHD much more likely to be a productive member of society.
Just chills them the fuck out.
It chills them the fuck out. And then you get into the fact that people with ADHD have ADHD for like a plethora of absolutely different reasons. ADHD could be caused by legitimately habitual. Like, you could have absolutely totally normal dopamine receptors or dopamine production and management and norepinephrine management, and just have a really hard time concentrating because you never really learned how to concentrate and so on. So you have the hormones, they're in balance, but you drink coffee and your ADHD gets worse because you're not really hormone imbalanced, you're just really bad at what you're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there's other factors like, I can't remember all of it, but technically with ADHD, it is a complex diagnosis, and so even though there might be a chemical part to it, there's also the possibility that the chemical imbalance is in a different direction, and so drinking coffee really just makes you more hyper and less attentive and a less productive member of society. So you do shit stupid fast, is a good way of putting it. Well, as like normal people, we have good dopamine receptors. And I don't know if I'm included in that. I'm not sure. I've been told I have ADHD tendencies, but I'm not. I'm undiagnosed.
And aggressively diagnosed.
Aggressively diagnosed. And I think at the end of the day, it does, I mean, coffee never really had that massive of effect on me until I started drinking it regularly. And I didn't start drinking coffee regularly until college was over.
Really?
Legitimately. I think my caffeine addiction kicked in when I was on my last semester of college, and I had to present I had to make a presentation, and I had to finish the deck the night before the presentation, and I had to drill it like however many times to be good at the presentation, and I just remember slamming a bunch of 5-hour energies. And then I slowly but surely started drinking more and more coffee as I got into advertising, and because coffee's part of advertising. And then I realized that I was drinking shit coffee, and now we're here.
And here we are.
Yeah. It's a very short synopsis of how we got to how the Beanyard is here.
That's how the Beanyard was born.
Not really, but close.
But close.
So yeah, ADHD and coffee.
So basically,
it could be anything. And it's the same thing with like people that are not with ADHD. Like, it could have completely different side effects for you because of the way that you are.
Because of just who you are as a person.
And there's a possibility that you just have really high metabolism, so you just process through caffeine very quickly, and it does nothing for you. Anyways, let's learn about Blackface.
Let's do it. Okay. So I'm gonna start the timer. I did not grow up and learn about Blackface, really. It was not taught in my school, or if it was, I was sick that day. All I know is that it was never really
I never got
taught to me. I heard about it socially. It's kind of like how I learned a lot about race and things. It was never taught in school. It was just what I learned from the people around me.
Well, it's probably because the UK was actually a lot worse than the United States for a while.
Just for a little, but so I'm gonna preface this by saying that. So, and by saying that, I just mean I'm learning.
Yeah. To be completely frank, I'd never learned anything about blackface. I knew about racism because it was taught in school, but blackface as an actual thing was not something that we talked about at my school until college.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, again, it was social. Like, that's where it came up with social. And I'm sure it's part of curriculum now, or at least discussed. But yeah.
Yeah. That's actually, I am learning about it in one of the classes that I'm taking right now in my film class.
I think that's why it came up.
That is why it came up.
Yes.
It was an interesting thing that I learned. But anyway, the early origins are from like the 1800s in minstrel shows. Have you heard of minstrel shows?
No, I mean, I'm familiar with the term, but I actually have no idea what that is.
They're basically just like little song and dance shows.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay.
And it's as a person, full blackface with the shoe polish or blackface paint and the worst type of blackface that you can picture.
And the worst way to do it,
and
too.
the worst way to do it.
Yeah.
And all of the above, yes.
Oh, I think we talked about Tropic Thunder, that's why.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Tropic Thunder was one reason we did talk about that.
Dear God.
Then there is vaudeville and film, which is, vaudeville is like kind of the next step up. It's still the character in the movies or the films are still, they're only there to sing and dance.
Got it.
That's all they do. That's all they can do.
Uh-huh.
That's what that is. And then something that I learned that I was kind of found fascinating that I learned about in my class was that people, different, I don't know how else to say this, different genres of white people would use blackface to prove how not black they were, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
So, Irish Americans, when Irish people started coming over to America, everyone's like, fucking Irish, get out of here.
I remember this, yes.
Yeah, you were there.
No, but I remember learning about it.
Yeah. And
they're
like,
taking our jobs. That was what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And so Irish Americans started performing in blackface to be like, look, I know that I'm different. I know that like I can tell. I know I'm different, but at least I'm not as bad as these guys.
Oh my God.
And then Italian Americans did the same thing. Like that's how they were able to pull themselves up socially and culturally, is by saying like, look, I can also do blackface and be making fun of this too because I'm not that. So basically, they just like that is the most not shocking, just real shit part about it is the white people using their whiteness to prove how white they are, and that showcases how better they are and different from the crowd. Like, yeah, I might be a potato eater, but at least I'm not black.
Is that okay for you to say? You are from England.
I'm sure I have Irish blood in me. I eat potatoes.
Oh, okay, all right. You just called them potato eaters. Some kind of fucked up.
I feel like there, in this topic of conversation, a lot worse things that I could have said than potato eaters.
Yes, you're probably right. And then I did want to mention, we talked about the creation of steel drums. So during the celebrations that did not allow the slaves to participate in drums, singing, that kind of stuff, white people would throw their celebrations to oppress the slaves further, and they would do blackface for that.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So there's blackface.
There's blackface.
And then there was a Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder with blackface, which is controversial.
Is anyone ever going to talk about that? Did it ever get talked about?
I don't entirely think it did.
That's a whole ass white man doing blackface in a modern day film.
I think that the reason why...
Is it because there's a white man playing a black man?
No, I think the reason why it was not talked about nearly as much is the premise of it, and also the fact that it was like, you could barely even tell it was Robert Downey Jr. Like, the cosmetics that they used on him was pretty phenomenal.
I I haven't watched Tropic Thunder in a very long time.
I mean, just seeing the photos of it, it's like, oh, it's like Robert Downey Jr. but black. But it's like, it really is Robert Downey Jr. but black.
They really did that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something out there. I'll read about it.
Yeah, they start off the movie with like a controversial surgery to become black is what he did to become that character.
Oh, see, I didn't remember that bit.
Oh yeah, it kicks it off of like the reason why he was able to get the role is because he went through the like cosmetic surgery to become black to be that actor.
Right. So okay.
Yeah,
there's
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there that might need unpacking, but
I'll take it. I didn't know that there was commentary there. I just thought it was
Blackface.
And that's that.
No, there was commentary.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about supernatural occurrences and, the viability of how they could actually exist and so on. When I looked this up, at the end of the day, what justifies the supernatural is the amount of people that see it happen. And so we kind of started at the very top where it's like there were some weird ones like the Jersey, the Mothman, then there was Bigfoot, Yetis, and all that kind of stuff. And there's enough like witnesses to make it seem like it's possible. And when I looked up the credibility of a lot of these things, like there's always like something that kind of makes it seem like it's like, I'm sorry, like it's definitely not real.
Okay.
Where it's like the video of Bigfoot, like a lot of the times the theorists for Bigfoot are saying, oh, the video is like this, you can tell it's not a real human by the way it walks and all this kind of stuff. And do you want to make a comment on that?
I just want to say my favorite theory about Bigfoot is that he's an interdimensional space traveler.
Yes, absolutely. Which honestly...
It makes the most sense.
To me, would make the most sense. I would much rather believe that Bigfoot is somebody that came from a completely different dimension and is a hyper-intelligent being to be able to do so, or they just found a slip in space or something like that. Because at the end of the day, the United States megafauna, they're not big enough. Like, there's nothing in the United States that allows for something like Bigfoot to exist in the size that it is. Other than maybe a moose could probably kick it off, but like...
A moose?
No, sorry, like a moose is big enough that it could be the size to justify the existence of Bigfoot.
Oh.
Megafauna being like really big animals.
Megafauna.
Yeah, and so like Bigfoot is a megafauna.
Yeah.
But like there's nothing to indicate that it would be able to get that big in our forests.
Right.
Other than like moose.
Other than moose.
But as we kind of go down that list of like what's likely, what's possible, we get to UFOs or just UFOs. Unidentified flying objects. I also have had an experience.
Technically, I don't know what it was, so it's technically unidentified.
Exactly. Yeah, I have no idea what it was either. And like maybe it was a kid shining a bright green light into my window, like with a laser pen back in the day. That could be possible. But the fact that this like beam of light definitely wasn't reflecting from my window and definitely stayed in place in the sky for an extended period of time and then legitimately disappeared. Like, that's unexplainable. And maybe it was a laser pointer pen. Like, it was really late at night and I don't know, but it was very much not like, it didn't seem very fake to me. But the reason why UFOs are the most likely supernatural occurrences is because there are legitimate photos and evidence provided by government entities. Like the United States Air Force has released photos of unidentified flying objects in space or in the sky. And a lot of the times they move extremely fast. They move erratically in such a way that you have no idea like how it's doing these types of movements. And they have there's zero ability for them to actually chase it down because it's literally that fast. That being said, it could honestly be an illusion, like an illuminated illusion from light. Like it could just be the way that light is interacting with the atmosphere. There was just an atmospheric anomaly. It caught the light. It was a weird reflection. It came off of this like geometrical shape and so on, so it looked like a ship. But there are thousands of UFO sightings that have legitimate like warrant, especially being the U.S. government. I think it was 2016 they released the photos of the UFO that they had photos of from like decades, or like over the span of decades. And obviously there's Roswell. So if anything, there are unidentified flying objects in space or in the sky. And keep in mind, unidentified flying objects does not mean aliens. It just means unidentified flying objects.
Yeah, and I think that's also why it is so plausible and so likely, is because it's very vague. It's just an unidentified flying object.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, like, there are occurrences, like natural occurrences, of like legitimate lightning plasma orbs appearing in homes during lightning storms. Like this has legitimately happened.
Like, in a home.
In a home, a lightning storm strikes around the house, and through an outlet, electricity comes through in a plasma form, and it holds a physical form and then dissipates.
What does that mean in a plasma form?
It means that it is like a hot orb.
That's terrifying.
And it has been observed and it has been like researched, and now that they figured out, I don't know if they figured out how it happens, but it does happen during lightning storms, and it happens like you can have an orb in your house, and it's just from nature. So it's like unidentified flying objects could just be nature interacting in a way that is very hard for us to understand. And because of the ability of our like planes, like F-35s flying at insane speeds, that they're actually able to catch what's happening in these natural occurrences. That's my theory, is that nature has been doing this batshit wild stuff forever.
All the time. And
it's just now that we're getting to the point where our technology can actually keep up and see things even better, more and more and more. And like obviously cameras, like you have a accidental experience where you can actually able to capture something like that. And then there's the fact that we're flying in the sky and we're seeing this shit all the time.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I've definitely seen a UFO though.
Me too. I have a picture of it. But
where?
On my phone. It doesn't do it justice, because the weird part about it is, I should have been caught on video. It was one really bright light, and this guy was walking with my friend. We were walking her dog, and this dude's like, "Hey, oh, look at that!" And we're like, "What?" And we look up, and there's this like really bright light in the sky. And we stare at it, and all of a sudden it just like splits off, and it turns into 3 individual lights, and it just stays there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then it disappeared. What was it? Tell me what the fuck it was.
When did this happen?
Oh, years ago.
I know, but like what part of the year?
Summer.
Oh. I'm sorry.
No, what was it? What did I witness?
So.
And don't say no, what is it? I don't believe you. What is it? It's a UFO.
So there was a sighting for that? Legitimately, like there was a sighting for that and people posted about it, and like everyone was like freaking out, and there was a whole theory, and then somebody came out and was like, it's a parachute. Like they're parachuters in the middle of the night, right? This happened in the middle of the night?
No, in day, sun was out.
Okay, never mind that. Then I don't have it. Oh, excuse me?
Trying to tell me my UFO sightings are real. No, it was during the day, thank you very much.
Okay, then at that point, wild.
Thank you. That's all I needed. I just needed you to be like, yeah, that's wild.
All right, so let's get on to our next questions. I'm going to go ahead and get Thanksgiving kicked off. And I want to know deep fried turkey, oven baked turkey, or smoked turkey, and why?
I want to know the history of the corn maze. A corn maze maze. A maze maze. Maze maze.
Oh, history. All right, and then my coffee question is, when is the perfect time to drink coffee during Thanksgiving dinner, or Thanksgiving period, so that you can avoid the food coma? Inevitable food coma.
The inevitable food coma. Okay.
And this is probably going to be a theory, because I doubt there's any real research.
Yeah. And my question to you...
You did not tell me ahead of time, so now I'm going to find out.
I would like to know the benefits, if there are any. Not that I'm interested, but the benefits or effects of coffee enemas.
Why? Where did this even come from?
I don't know. I heard about it once, and it's been living in the dark crevices of my mind
From
forever.
who? Who's the person that would talk about?
Do you want to know what it was? It was from an episode of Wife Swap. When I was a child, when I was like 10 years old.
What the fuck is Wife Swap?
Wife Swap, it's a TV show where you get two families and the wives swap in the family, and then they have to live for like You've never heard of Wife Swap?
I mean, maybe I've heard of it, but it doesn't it's
no,
not really.
I would watch it all the time when I was growing up. Saturday afternoon, that was I spend my day.
It does sound like a very interesting TV show.
Yeah, and one of them, and in one of the episodes, the wife did coffee enemas, and they showed it. And she did it, like the family did it, like as a couple, they would wake up in the morning.
Is this like the wife that swapped and she got the entire family to do it with her, or this is the wife before swap?
Before swap. I don't know how, I don't remember.
Her entire family?
I don't remember.
6-year-old child?
Well, it was her and her husband at the least.
Oh my God.
Just couldn't start their day without their enema.
We should probably try and find this clip so that people can know that.
Yeah. Watch this be like not even remotely. I was just like a fucked up dream I had when I was a kid.
Oh my God, it'd be fucking horrifying. All right. Anyways, hey, you people, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and legitimately, don't forget to give us some topics.
Yeah, we help.
No, at the end of the day, we just want to know what you're interested in.
We want to know what you want to know.
Yeah, we want to know what you want to know. All right. Anyways, happy Halloween. Bye.
Well, bye.
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 Not the other thing.
What?